This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Lei, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. Thanks for inviting me to join.
Well, I'll tell you what, hot topic, no doubt about it. The whole issue of the cloud obviously is the pervasive environment, disruptive game changer, allowing for things that were possible or were attempted before but weren't possible. Now things are literally coming up almost daily that are showing where the future is without question, things like the Internet of Things and high-speed, and all of the things that we talk about day in and day out. But a lot of our listeners really don't get a chance to pause for a second and really deal with a subject matter expert with the kind of background that you've got, Lei. So I really would like to take advantage of that. And let's talk a little bit about, first, the trends that you're seeing, the adoption of public versus private cloud. What's going on?
Yeah, I think there might be a kind of a myth around the notion of all workloads need to be all in public cloud. I think it's more subtle than that because we have industry data showing the IT spend is actually shifting away from traditional IT. However, where it is going to public cloud. However, the private cloud growth, surprisingly, is actually almost twice as much as the growth of public cloud. I think it's probably because in the past 12 to 18 months, there's a real shift in the enterprise companies' cloud strategy because they've had some real experience with it. So when the CIO will declare they're all in cloud, general assumption is they mean public cloud. However, there are some challenges that our organization actually experience moving particular workloads, especially if they adopted a kind of a lift and shift migration to public cloud. Now they realize that that may not be the right approach. And when people more and more adopting kind of a multi-cloud strategy, and when they mean all in on cloud, they're trying to find the right balance of a mix of public cloud, private cloud, and cloud service providers.
Okay, so with you understand exactly the information that you just explained to us, but I'm going to assure you that a lot of us in the audience are probably a little bit wondering about what's the difference and why would I pick it? What's better and worse? Why is there a challenge? Is there no opportunity other than adapting to it? I mean, give us a little bit deeper into the challenges that organization faces in trying to move, say, to a public cloud.
Yeah, so we talk to kind of our customers on a very frequent basis. We actually ask this question directly to them in one of the advisory board that we just held. So two of the biggest challenges they face is around performance and cost. So performance, what I mean by is if some of them try to run some mission-critical applications directly in public cloud, they find that it doesn't really guarantee the type of performance SLA as well as kind of availability and resilience they really desire for enterprise applications. But they learn it in a hard way, when your customer line starts to pick up and complain about experiences. And the other thing is, because the public cloud is not really designed to handle these kind of predictable workloads that enterprises really want. The other surprises they got is because, when you just lift and shift the application to the public cloud, if you didn't do proper rewrites of the application, it can have problems. So one example could be if you have an application that usually assumes the network bandwidth to be free when it's within your own data center. When you want to move it to the public cloud, and that cost the hidden cost got exposed, and if you have really intensive applications as well as latency requirements, your network bandwidth is gonna come out as a very shocking surprise bill at the end of the month.
I'm naive. It's not my area of expertise, but I know that many people are challenged in the same situation, and that is, entrepreneurs and executives who really don't have the depth of experience and education that allows them to make an arbitrary decision to change or adapt or add a new system of one kind or another. I guess where I'm going here is when you mention some of these things, is that part of the services that you guys provide, and from Tintri? I mean, is that the kind of thing that exposes those kind of things, or is there some kind of self-evaluation that a company owner, say, or CIO or CTO might go through themselves to find out, oh man, I do have a problem and I really do need to do this? How does that actual say the financial analysis and the consideration that you brought up in terms of benefits, or how do you analyze that, or how would a client analyze it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think from what we see, it's just not really a scientific approach to it. A lot of it is more, when someone in your organization use a credit card, swipe a credit card to get a services up, and it was probably went well for a few months silent when. The problems come up when you have an outage, and all of us were familiar with the kind of recent really cloud provider service outage, and it will take them 30 years to come back to the 5 nines or 7 nines guarantees that they put out, and then that's kind of a wake up call to both the higher level executives as well as the IT department, who is like, how can we fix that problem and not get that surprise again? So it takes these kind of, but I think our approach here is trying to talk to our customers is we acknowledge that you're trying to look for a lot of the public cloud benefits, especially agility, right? The ability to scale and then just to have a service up in minutes or sometimes in seconds. That's the benefit you're looking for. However, the way, the delivery model to actually implement that doesn't have to be public cloud. It can be on-prem and a private cloud environment.
Okay, so enterprise cloud. I know that obviously there's a lot of different things. Similar solutions are touted, but I do know that you've got a different approach. Go into a little bit about the enterprise cloud.
Yeah, that's good. So actually, we actually take the approach of NIST definition of cloud, which is the National Institute of Standard and Technology, and it clearly lay out kind of 5 pillars for enterprise cloud. It has to have on-demand self-service. It should be measurable. It's elastic enough to accommodate the scale, the scalability, and also it should be easy so that you can resource pooling your infrastructure and manage as one. So that's really kind of the basis of how we develop our Tintri Enterprise Cloud. That it works with the rest of the compute and network resources to provide the infrastructure base of the enterprise cloud. Now, we provide a single federated pool of storage that you can scale out. You can move your workloads around and also find the optimal kind of location for every virtual machines or containers that you have in your environment. It also allows you to expand or sometimes even shrink your capacity based on predictive analytics information that we provide in our product. Also, we do believe that the ability to automate, the ability to orchestrate across kind of a suite of workflows is really important, and the ability to provide the right level of abstraction as well as open APIs so that you can always integrate, expand your capabilities is key for a successful enterprise cloud.
Well, I cite a couple of examples for us because I think we can quickly understand it even more so if we kind of I guess where I'm going is how are customers and what kind of customers deploying the enterprise cloud now, say, for example?
So a lot of our customers are enterprise customers, and they usually have a lot of mission-critical workloads, and they have the expertise in-house to implement some of the services. And some of the smaller customers might go to a cloud service provider to get the same experience. But we tend to kind of be the infrastructure backbone for those cloud providers.
Well, clearly, you don't go it alone. There's so much happening. I mean, we overuse the term disruptive. It isn't vertical in a sector. It's horizontal across the entire industry and through the entire economic structure, marketplace. I guess now it's a case where what would be the next thing that you would recommend? If a situation is that you're facing the kind of problem or opportunity that you've been discussing, we're unfortunately quickly running out of time, but maybe give us a quick insight that says, okay, I get it, or at least I know enough to know that I can't get it without having a trusted vendor or a trusted partner. Where do I go? What do I do? What's next?
I think that the next step is really trying to, reconcile within the organizations, like have some clarity on the cloud strategy. And I think, the management will agree that it is really the benefits that they're trying to seek after public cloud. I think it's almost that kind of the job for IT department as well to convince the management chain that there is a very plausible, a very reasonable solutions called enterprise cloud that they could go out and invest in more.
Listen, the two most important things to a business owner, is does it make me money or does it save me money? And obviously, you're discussing at the bottom line both of those situations. You guys have got to be snowed. A lot of activity here, a lot of good things about the work that you guys are doing. I know you're very busy, but you always take the time to be involved with TAG and take the time to join us today on Tech Talk.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our conversation.